Welcome to 100 Days of Python, the Python Code Along Challenge. I'm Bill Mosley, and if you want to find the entire listing of the 100 Days of Python, you can find it at my website, www.bmosley.com/hdp. Let's get started. All right, and welcome to day 56 of the 100 Days of Python Code Along with Me Challenge. We started yesterday on object-oriented programming, making this little ePet program. And if I run that, you can see we can name the pet, and then we can feed or play with the pet to try and keep them from getting hungry and bored. It's not super easy, and you can see here I've already lost the game. They ran away to find a better owner. So this is our little game using this ePet class. Now the game is fun and obviously fairly difficult, but what can we do to make it more interesting? Well, one of the things that we could make it more interesting about the game is maybe if we have more than one pet that we can adopt. And we can do this quite easily because we can reuse the same class for multiple pets, multiple pet instances. And so what we're going to do today is we're actually going to put multiple instances of this class in a list and store them there, and that way it's easy to manage and use those objects to do things. First thing I want to do though is I've got to make the game a little easier, and so I'm going to put the minimum number for the hunger and boredom. Actually, first, before I do this, my goodness, I need to copy that code into a new script so that we don't lose what we did yesterday. So now back to this, I'm going to make it a little easier, and I'm going to make the minimum that happens on each turn 0, and I'll make the maximum that it goes down to, because once we have multiple pets, those numbers are just going to be untenable. Okay, so first thing we need to do is we need to change our little menu here and our little program, because on any given turn, we want to be able to adopt a new pet. And so I'm going to just get rid of this right here. And I'm also going to get rid of this. And in its place, I'm going to say li pets equals empty list. And so I'm going to make a third option in my menu, say adopt a new pet. Okay. And so that's so far so good. But there's one more thing that I want to do here, and that is I want to define another special method. We have the initialization method here, but if I take all this and comment it out, I want to show you something really quick. If I say my pet equals ePet, and I give it the name Sam, and then I print my pet. Okay, so I'm actually printing out that object. If I do that, watch what happens. Okay, so there's the line that gets generated by the adoption or the initialization. But then when I print that object, it just prints out this. Now that's not useless information. It's showing where the memory location of that instance is, what type of object it is, where it exists. But maybe for my purpose, I can do something a little bit more useful. And what I'm going to do here is create another special method called self, or called string, actually. EFSTR. There we go. It's called string, and it doesn't take any parameters, but this allows me to change what I get when I print out that object. So I'm just going to change that, and I'm going to use that as an opportunity to print out this information. So X Okay, and we're going to combine these into a single line of code here, into a single print statement. And I'm going to add one more thing here. Plus, so we're going to say, that's going to be f string, and we're going to say self.strname, and we'll say ljust and 15 there. So I'm going to shorten these just a little bit to make it a little bit more compact. And that way it'll do a little better. There we go. Now, whenever we print my pet, it'll give us that information. So if I run that, oops, one thing I forgot. This isn't a print statement. This is a return statement. So it's actually returning this. Return that. There we go. Now let's try this again. There we go. Sam, boredom 5, hunger 5. Don't love how that looks just yet. Let's just fix that up a little bit. That's pretty good, but it's a little bit too much space there. I'm just going to leave it. It's not my favorite, but it's fine. So there is that special string method, which redefines what we get when we print that object. So that's good. Okay, let's go back to modifying our program here. So we've got feed pet, play with pet, adopt a new pet. And what we need to do is we need to find out which pet to adopt. Okay, so one thing that we're going to have to do is we're going to have to create a function that will list the pets so that we can choose which one to adopt. Okay, so what we're going to do is we are going to create that function up here. Now note, this function is not part of the class. Okay, classes have methods, but we're outside that class, and I'm going to create a function called list pets. And it's going to take the li pets as an argument, and we're going to say for pet in li pets, right above that we're going to say int index, and we'll set it to 1. And then we're going to print f string int index, and then a space, and then a hyphen, another space, and then we're going to say pet dot str name. Now remember, each one of these pets in the li pet is going to be a pet object. So it's going to have that property. So we should be able to just print it out. And then after each time we print something, we're going to add 1 to the index. So now when we want to feed or when we want to feed or play with a pet, first we've got to ask, we're going to say list pets, and li pets is going to be given to it, and then we're going to say str choice. Actually, I'm going to say int choice equals input, which pet. And we're going to turn that into an integer. we're going to say if int choice dot is numeric, then it's going to say int choice equals int choice, and that's going to turn that into an integer. And then we are going to use that integer. Now remember, we're going to use that as an index, and if we start at 1, the index is going to be shifted by 1. So we're going to have to subtract 1 to get the index, and then we're going to say li pets, and then we're going to say the index int choice, and then we're going to say that's feed pet, so we're going to say feed pet. Right? It's because we're referring to the method of the pet that's at this index in that list. And if we say else print invalid input, this is just if somebody doesn't choose a number. So we want to do the same thing with play pet, and I'm going to cheat like crazy here and just copy and paste all that in there. And the only thing I need to change is play pet, just like that. Okay, so then the other thing I need to do is now, or the last thing I need to do is elif str choice equals 3 in that menu. Then it's going to allow us to adopt a pet. And so we want to get the name right here, get the name from the user, and then we're going to say li pets append, and we're going to adopt a pet, an ePet, and the ePet requires that we give it a name, str name. And that's it. Okay, so there's everything we need to do. Now, the last thing we need to do is for each turn, each time we loop through this, each time we do something, we need to have every pet take a turn. So we're going to say for pet in li pets, we're going to say pet take turn. And that's it. That'll go through each of the pets and trigger their take turn. And then we'll figure out what's next. And now, last thing we need to do is we need to print, here are your pets. And then once again, for pet in li pets, pet, let's print pet. Okay, let's give it a shot. Oops, I forgot up here I adopted a pet already. So let's get rid of that. We don't need that anymore. Okay, here's the test. We have to first adopt a pet. What do you want to name your pet? Sam. Uh-oh. Time passes. Sam's getting bored and hungry. Here are your pets. Sam, boredom, and hunger. Let's play with Sam. Okay, so we'll choose 2. Pet number 1. You played with Sam. Time passes. He's getting hungry and bored. We better feed him now. Feed Sam. Okay, not too bored, not too hungry. Let's adopt another pet. George. Okay, so now we've got George and Sam both feeling kind of hungry and bored. I think I'm going to play with George. So I'm going to hit play, and we'll play with George. Better feed Sam. Okay, so I think you kind of get the idea here. We keep going, and the only thing we have not done is checked to see if any of our pets have run away. So that's a problem. So after we take a turn, we're going to say for pet in li pets, if pet dot int hunger is less than 1, or pet dot int boredom is less than 1, then li pets dot pop actually it's not pop, it is remove pet, and then we say print, and we'll go f string here, pet dot str name has run away. That should do it. Let's run it and see if it works. So we need to adopt a pet. Sam. Let's adopt another pet. George. Let's adopt another pet. Dave. Let's adopt another pet. Susie, you want to have pets run away? This is a surefire way to do it. Okay, so there we go. Sam had finally had enough, getting extremely hungry and bored. Sam has run away, and you can see he's now removed from the list. And we could include a condition here that says if li pets has no objects in it, then the game is over. That might be the way to do it, but with Tamagotchi and virtual pets, I guess the game is never really completely over. And so that's just the beginning of object-oriented programming. Thanks for watching today. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much for watching this video and coding along with me. Once again, if you want to access the entire listing of 100 Days of Python, you can do it at my website, www.bmosley.com/HDP. You can also access my book, Introduction to Python Programming for Absolute Beginners, at my website, www.bmosley.com/book. Thanks again, and we'll see you around.